Hey everybody, my name is Jared and I am a Master Mason in the state of Mississippi in the United States of America. And today's viewer's question is a tough one because it is going to be different everywhere. It reads, what can be done about overdue lodge fees? I heard dues don't have to be paid after a certain age. This is going to vary widely in almost every single jurisdiction. So I will start by telling you how it is here in the state of Mississippi, and I will tell you of at least one widely different instance that I am familiar with. Here in the state of Mississippi, it is possible to be exempt from your dues. There are requirements. Number one, you have to be over 72 years of age. Number two, you have to have been a dues paying member 25 years in a row. And even with those qualifications met, you must apply for it. It doesn't happen automatically. So if you're over 72, you've been a Freemason, paying your dues faithfully for 25 years, you can apply for exemption. So there's that. Now, as far as having to repay the dues, in the state of Mississippi, you only have to pay the current year's dues. So let me give an example. Let's say I stopped going to lodge starting today. Now dues aren't due here in Mississippi until December the 1st. So I would still be current all the way up to December 1st whether I was going to lodge or not. But then next year at a certain point, and we'll get into too many details if I start mentioning all the little times and dates that little checkpoints, if you will. But next year, at some point, I will be suspended for non-payment of dues. So then, let's say 2 years pass, and I decide, hey, life got really busy, guys. I'm sorry, I'd like to come back. They'll say, no problem. Just pay this year's dues, and you're back in. It's done. That's all it took. But let's say it's 5 or 6 years down the line. Well, in that case, a bit of a check and balance comes into play. And while I still only have to pay this year's dues, the lodge still has the right to form an investigative committee and check into me and make sure there might not be some underlying reason on why I have been absent from Freemasonry other than my own free will and accord. Maybe I did something that was against the law and I've been in jail for the last 3 or 4 years, and that's something the lodge needs to know about if I'm not being honest about my situation. So that's the way it is here in the state of Mississippi. Even true if you go 20 years without paying your dues, you can come back to the lodge and say, I would like to come back. They will do their investigation committee. You'll pay this year's dues alone, and come back in. Now, you won't have the rights and benefits, so to speak, of being a member that paid their dues for that 25 years in a row that would be required for you to be able to be exempt later in life. But you can come back. So there's that. Now, to go on the extreme other end of things, I have heard of other jurisdictions that require full payment. Full payment of your lodge dues ever since you stopped coming to lodge. So my lodge, our dues are $100 per year. And if I stopped going to lodge for 6 years in a row and I wanted to come back, I better come with $600 in my hand ready to pay and get back current with the lodge. So that is a very difficult thing, and the way you could potentially look at it is it's encouragement to never fall behind, but it's also perhaps a discouragement to some people on ever coming back. So take that for what you will. I've also heard of other jurisdictions where they don't suspend you quite as quickly as Mississippi does, which makes things, in my opinion alone, makes things very difficult for secretaries to try to keep track of which brothers are at which stage and so many other things. I personally, and of course I live in Mississippi, so I'm already this-minded, if you will, but I personally enjoy how quickly things get handled and taken care of here in the state of Mississippi. So Those are some examples of how dues are taken care of, but rest assured, wherever you live, you can find that information in the bylaws of your Grand Lodge. So if you're in that sort of a situation, then go and check it out and get the answer specifically for you. If your jurisdiction has something that you think is a bit unique, then I'd be interested in hearing about it down below. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch. We'll see you next time. Bye.